What is going on, troopers? Welcome to the Trooper Transmission. This is CT 3939, but you can call me Paul, and it is that time of the year, the time where we get some troopers on Disney Plus. And so I'm excited to bring on the other other host of the show, Marcos. He's one of the coaches, the other coach in Fit Nerd Academy. And Marcos, thanks for joining all the way from Sweden.
Absolutely. It's nice and snowy out here, but man, I'm just super pumped about talking about Bad Batch and what we got coming up. Not only in the trailers, but in this upcoming season. So
yeah, the season, the year, it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Rex is all about it. I was going to put him somewhere, and then I was like, I need to just get him out of the way. So I'll probably knock him over. But yeah, dude. So I think a new trailer just dropped. So I want to go over the season 3 trailer that it looks on YouTube might have dropped in the last couple of days. So we'll review that, and then we'll go over Screenrant's top 8 theories and any other theories that people have. We got Abigail. Good morning, Abigail. She's one of our troopers inside of Fit Nerd Academy, giving you a shout out. So let's dive on into this trailer first. I'm going to pull up a third screen, and we're going to look at it step by step and just see if there's anything we can glean from it, because that's what we do. We watch tape like we're in the NFL. So let's pull this up right here. All right, so right off the bat, we've got Palpatine. I'm trying to keep it quiet so the YouTube people don't get mad. But essentially, he's saying it's imperative that this facility on Mount Tantus stays secure. So this one right here, a lot of people think this is tech. There's no way it's tech, because I think at the end of the day, tech's dead. A lot of people don't want to hear that. But we saw an assassin dressed very similarly to him, and it was just a clone. So theory right there. We got some other troopers joining in. Ben from the UK. We got Rocket Ruby, Carissa. These are all members in Fit Nerd Academy. So good to see them joining on.
Hey guys.
Let's break it down a little bit more. All right. So this is a pretty cool shot right here. We got Royal Guards. We got Commandos. This might be the most protected Palpatine ever is in his life. Like, he's got the best of both worlds. The OT, like secret agents, and not OTs, like the OT, like elite soldiers, and then the prequel elite soldiers. He's like
no TK troopers here. So
yeah, no TK troopers, and these are all Commandos. Did you actually see that right here? Yeah, it's not stormtroopers. It's all Commandos.
They're all Commandos. Yeah.
So that's super interesting. Hopefully, they're a little bit stronger and more aligned with canon this year. All right, so it looks like that's Rex right here. Yeah, you see.
I'm just wondering, do we see Cody again? Does he come back?
Guys,
we see that we see the memorial wall.
Yeah.
Do we see Cody come back from his absence, or I don't know. I'm pumped about that.
I think we do. Yeah. There's no way they don't wrap it up. Tech, he's a goner.
Does Cody take Tech's place?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously their skill set is totally different, but still, he would be an awesome addition.
So in the last episode of season 2, I remember Crosshair's trying to get out. Obviously, he doesn't, but he's still a prisoner. Not every clone is your ally. You got Car, we got Omega. Those are sisters. That was a big drop.
Right.
I think Omega gets captured like right away.
So you don't think the clone girls are gonna get right off into the sunset?
No. So this one right here, there's a couple voices it could be. Someone in the background says they are coming, and then it shows Hunter, Omega, Captain Rex. This looks like either Fireball or Nemec. I don't know if you remember that episode with those troopers, because he's got the whatever on, and then you got Cad Bane. So I almost wonder if it's like, yeah, that guy's saying.
Well, that was the assassin, right?
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's like a clone uprising. Like they are all coming,
Yeah.
And they're coming to Mount Tantus.
Yeah.
Hemlock, I think he dies. All right, this one is interesting. Caleb Doom. And then you got Ventress.
Yeah.
So I think that's super interesting. Like, does he come in because we know he's alive? Ventress,
I just wanted
obviously.
like talking about the assassin clones, because that was the episode where they were trying to take out Senator Chuchi and then silence the clone. I can't remember his name. That was talking about, you know, how, like, what happened to Camino, and trying to reveal the truth there, right?
Yeah.
When he was saying they're coming, was that just you know, Palpatine and his advanced clones, or, you know, it could be.
Yeah, could be
obviously a lot of things.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
This was on Dark Trailer, so this might have just been a mashup. I kind of knew that going in, but it looked like there was some new scenes. So shout out to Dark Trailer for having it on. But let's go into these theories now on Screenrant, because I think there's some good ones. There's some, there's my calendar. There's some not as good ones. And I think it's just great talking points all around. We got Jacoby celebrating the Super Bowl over in Kansas City. What's going on, my man? But yeah, let's break it on down, because there's a lot to break on down. And the first one here is that Tech is returning like Winter Soldier in whatever that Marvel movie was, where America's like, Bucky's dead, and then he ends up not being dead, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
I think it was the same name. It was the movie by the same name.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. So Tech coming back. For whatever reason, the image isn't loading, but what do we got on that?
Man, I think everybody that's with us right now, and I think everybody that sees this after already knows how you feel about that. I think that
I know. I never do rants, but I was like,
right. He's like, well, I just want to give my 2 cents. No, but I really think that I agree with you in that, you know, deaths need to mean something. I mean, the guy fell like 5,000 feet and then had a rail car fall on top of him as well. You know, between the fall and between the ground, I don't think he was rescued in that time frame. So, you know, I hope he's, you know, they just honor his memory and bring on another clone and keep pushing. So
I wouldn't put it past Disney to have some sort of Avatar like bird swoop in and pick him up. Then all of a sudden they got an Avatar Bad Batch movie coming out as a blend. Yeah.
Or do they clone Tech, and now you got a evil Tech?
Ooh,
right. Because if we look at, I just finished the Air trilogy, and it's I mean, they were doing like 30-day turnarounds on clones, and they're super unstable clones. I mean, they're emotionally were just like a wreck. Yeah. But you know, they got the job done, and Thrawn was, you know, he was basically staging a comeback based on those clones, and they were like 30 to 60-day turnarounds on clones.
Yeah, that's a good take. What if he comes back and his name is not Tech, it's Malware? And he's the dark side version. All the IT people are now like punching pillows because
I already knew that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. All right.
That's how you know you're becoming a dad, man. You got these jokes on deck, man. You're just like
the force is strong with the dad jokes. Asajj Ventress is on the path to becoming a Jedi again. You've read Dark Disciple. I've Wikipedia'd it.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, this ruins canon. They've said that it doesn't. What do you got on this one with her becoming a Jedi again?
No, I think she's one of those stories in Star Wars that's really just, you know, tragic, right? Because she wasn't really a Sith. Obviously, we know that. She did have a good heart. You know, her master was. She had this perception. Obviously, I think in the book it talks about this a lot. Is, you know, she was really just really jaded just because of what happened to her master and the perception that he got left. I'm forgetting the name of the planet, but if somebody wants to drop it in the chat, but it's that he got basically left and abandoned by the Jedi. So
was it Rat Attack?
I
listened to Jedi Lost.
Yeah. She was talking about Rat Attack. There is, yeah, exactly.
That one,
yeah. She had the voice of her master there, but I mean, that's really kind of her genesis of, where she's coming from with the grudge, right? And she just kind of happens to fall into, Dooku's hands, and then, that starts her on this path. But I think that overall, like, if we look at, Jedi Lost, if we look at Dark Disciple, like, she really always wanted to do the right thing. I mean, she was never really serving for selfish purposes. She was, trying to do the just thing, or what she thought was just, and really just, ended up, biting her in the butt later on, as she gives her life up for Quinlan Voss. So, which was really actually, like, man, you really, like, see it. I highly suggest reading Dark Disciple or listening to it, because you really see another side of Asajj Ventress, coming from Clone Wars, and how diabolical she was during that time. But when you see her in or when you read her in Dark Disciple, you're like, man, you really see that side of her where it's like she's really just this broken person that is, has had a lot of letdowns and can't trust anybody. And then all of a sudden, like, Quinlan Voss just happens to be like, because of his charisma and his skill, etc., and just kind of really gets on that side of her. And unfortunately, it goes a totally different way, and she kind of just falls victim there. So I hope they don't bring her back in that sense. Maybe if we look back, I'm really just curious as to how they're gonna do it. Obviously, Filoni is the master, and he's cooking up some good stuff, so he's not gonna let it, I think, ruin content. Maybe change continuity a little bit, but I think he's gonna do it justice. So I'm just super interested on how they bring her back.
Yeah, I think it's cool. She has the curved hilt like Dooku. Jacoby had a good fall. I just want to bring this as maybe a follow point. Anyone watching, I'd be curious your guys' thoughts. We can put it up on the chat. But he brought up I don't know how to pronounce this, the Shio variant species. So maybe there are those birds that can save tech. Right, that's getting deep in the lore. But coming back to Asajj, I think they just saw an opportunity to have another lightsaber. Like this could send me on a bigger rant. But Star Wars is best when there's blades igniting, right? Like you just want to see colors on the screen. And so if it's all like Andor, for example,
right?
Obviously, like that's a great show, and so many people liked it. But like you close your eyes, think Star Wars, and what do you think about? You hear like 4 or 5 sounds, and one of them is the ignition of a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Right. And so I get wanting to move away from the Skywalkers in that saga, but like if you ever want Star Wars to crush, like people like lightsabers, whether they want to admit it or not. So I think it's just more they're like, how could we get some more force wielders in here? And they're like, cool, let's throw her in. And maybe it shows Quinlan and showing her die, or it could have just been something that gets people cooking in the old Twitter or X feeds.
I think that would be so awesome if they were, because I know that they, so many people after they read Dark Disciple wanted that episode to be realized. So I think that would be super cool. What you just said is that they actually bring in maybe a part of that. They give you a snippet of her and Voss and that, kind of looking back. And then, we do witness her maybe get killed. I think that would be super powerful. That would please a lot of the fans for sure. And kind of wrap up, her arc. So
yeah, that'd be sweet. I'm into it. This one was kind of out of left field, but I like it. Boba will meet his sisters. I don't know how he would meet them. Maybe we see Cad Bane in the trailer, so maybe Cad Bane and Boba are working together. We know that they work together at different times, and so maybe they're on a mission maybe they get hired to bust Omega out from the Kaminoans, and then Cad's like, hey Boba, you want to come fight with me? And Boba's like, yeah. Right. And then all of a sudden you get like, what is it? Is it the Mexican Spider-Man or this Mexican standoff where you have 3 Spider-Mans all pointing?
It's like, they're all like this.
You're a clone? No, you're a clone. It's like you're Alpha, you're Omega, you're Car. Like what? Yeah, I mean that's the only way I could see it happening, because I don't see them. Yeah, no.
I think that would be so awesome. I mean, we get an image of all 3 of those meeting. I think that would be epic.
Yeah, I would want like a referee in there, or when I say that I mean like a a Kaminoan to like explain everything.
Mm.
They're like, wait, I'm a clone, you're a clone, you're my sister, and then I don't know which ones are dead, which ones are alive. Lama
Right.
Su, Naminé, whatever, Parlay. One of them's gonna come in and be like, yes, you guys, we're all part of Jango Fett, and they'll
Right.
be like, Boba will be like, don't talk about my dad that way.
Right.
Anyways,
I love it. I love it.
Abigail doesn't think he would actually care. Yeah, he's probably still just mad at Mace Windu, looking for
Yeah.
his body to go beat him up
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Captain Rex will start a doomed clone uprising. Rex can't give up the fight. I think this one's partly digs partly into something. So many people want the Clone Wars in plural. I've always thought that Clone War just is wars simply because there's battles happening all over the galaxy, and people are just dissecting the semantics a little bit. But you could have a second. Again, it wouldn't even be a war. Like, let's say they got 200 clones together to go and attack Mount Tantus. Like, would you look at that as a war or just another resurgence or not what's it called? Insurgency. Like, I don't think they could make it a war.
Yeah, no, I don't think they have the means to do that. But I mean, for sure, it could be more clandestine. You know, they have that kind of underground network, so they continue to harass and degrade the Empire as best they can. You know, it's more asymmetric. So, but yeah, I think that he's on a mission. He said that obviously from the beginning was that he is trying to connect all clones and obviously fight back.
Yeah. And then obviously we'll save this. You've got a Rex related theory. This will be number 9. That will be the one that's off the record or off the Screen Rant one. Omega will be in the Empire's captivity for a long time. It's not even like a theory. Like this is more like
okay.
This it's not like there's no like spice to it. It's just like Omega's in captivity. Like, okay.
Right.
It's not like someone shows up or someone makes an appearance. It's just like, like, what is she doing during the episodes?
Yeah. Is she crucial to, kind of clones that we see, or clone technology like that we see later on, towards the end of the Empire? Like, who knows? I mean, does she start working, at Mount Tantus? I mean, I think that's something that they could probably try to work in there in that sense.
This one is actually one that I'd be interested to learning more about, because if you then have Omega coming in and then that's part of how Grogu gets influenced. Like, what if Omega gets like melted as a gummy bear and then turns into Grogu, but with like extra force powers? Like, just something outrageous where you're like, wait, Omega's in Grogu? Like, that's why he's so powerful.
You're like, okay. Yeah. That would be.
I've lost my mind.
No, but hey, we've got it on the board. So if it happens,
Yeah, if it happens, just remember I said Omega is Grogu.
Someone's gonna take parlay on that. Someone's betting on that.
But yeah, I mean, we could see maybe Keller and Beck. I think that might be a stretch. But I definitely think they got to do something to tie. Like, there's got to be a reason. Jacoby's cracking me up. Do we know what's really inside R2? It could be Omega. She was in the original trilogy. But like all the cloning in The Mandalorian, obviously all the cloning that we've seen in the prequels and in the Clone Wars.
Right.
And then like this, there's got to be a reason why the Bad Batch exists.
Right.
Beyond just like scratching the clone itch.
Yeah.
They've touched on so many Kaminoan related things. And now they're bringing in Palpatine. Like, I need an episode where they just pull in all these loose ends and make a T-shirt with the yarns that they've placed out there.
Yeah.
Even if it's not cool, just tie the loose ends for me.
Right. Absolutely. As to the origin of, or like why, what was the deeper, more strategic reason as to the creation of Bad Batch, as you're saying?
And just, yeah, I think the Bad Batch in this season has an opportunity to say what the deal is with all of the cloning activities. It could even help out the sequels. To be like,
Yeah,
Mount Mantis
100%,
was the
100%.
location that Palpatine was trying to clone. He was trying to recruit a bunch of these genetically mutated clones
Mm,
and figure out how to make sure that he shows up.
mm,
Grogu was the first one that he was able to get because he got some of the fingernails from
mhm.
the rotunda in the Senate building. Like, just
Right,
pull in all these loose threads
right,
so
right,
that what we see in The Mandalorian, what we see in the sequel trilogy makes a little bit more sense.
right, right, right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so deep with, what they were, I mean, so many things that we don't know about what they were doing at Mount Tantus. I mean, it's so deep as to everything that they were dabbling in there. I think it's just, again, just coming off of the Air trilogy, it was like, they touched on a little bit of it, but it's like they even didn't know all the things that they had been doing there.
Yeah.
It really was even the Empire, that when they still had access to it, didn't fully understand like what was being done there.
Yep.
They didn't, because Palpatine was just so like just sneaky about everything. He had so many things that they didn't even discover till decades after. So but that would be interesting if we can get a little bit more insight into kind of the overarching, that like the strategic kind of viewpoint on the clone technology, like what was happening there.
Yeah.
When like the fact that they were able to speed up the development process, and I think is a crucial one. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's definitely probably something we'll see.
Yeah. Tell us what is happening. Don't make us try and fit it in our
Right,
brain.
right.
Commander Cody's story will get a final ending. I actually like this one, and maybe I'm just a dark human. I want to see deaths of big characters.
Yeah.
I want them to tie up one of the most iconic clones and just not have them floating in the ether. And I think he could play a really cool part or role in saving someone and sacrificing himself.
Yeah. Does he feel guilt about basically just at the drop of a hat, like turning on Kenobi?
Yeah, I mean, what if? Yeah, now I'm getting out there in my head. Someone needs to do a skit on YouTube of Commander Cody in therapy, being like, "I shot my best friend."
Right,
Like, it's okay. Breathe.
right.
Where he like comes to
It's like
realization.
it's like that Always Sunny gif or meme. So then I started blasting, and it's
Yeah.
going like it's
Yeah.
and that's basically Cody. He was just like he didn't even get the order finished. It was like execute, or and he'd already like fired on him. So
He's like, "Oh shoot, it was 67. That's
yeah.
why." Like, should have listened to the full order.
Oh man, I should. Sorry about that. Yeah, Cody was no, but I think it was super interesting, and just adds to his like development, that he started to question like what started to be think about how he was thinking, and kind of what was these orders that were coming down, and it took this long obviously to kind of reach that point where you got so many desertions like happening throughout the first and second season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. Does he?
Final.
Do you think
Oh.
he? Does he sacrifice himself? He said.
Yeah, I think so.
You think he goes out? Okay. So long for Cody.
Yeah. See you later, Cody. Maybe Obi-Wan shows up and gets revenge.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
No,
Plot twist. Plot twist. He saves him.
Oh yeah.
Nobody saves him. Yeah.
Speaking of saving, I think the entire show has been saving this redemption arc from the beginning. I mean, it would be one. I think it would be really good for the story if he did have a redemption arc. What do you get on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he has to. I mean, at this point, he barely got the message. What was it? 88? Is that what he sent out? Message 88 or
Yeah.
88. And I mean, I think he at this point is kind of like broken. Like he just really just doesn't. He's lost. And I think it's going to take him kind of seeing this uprising, having the having the Bad Batch come back and attempt to rescue, and then he either, I think it inspires him to rejoin, you know, and continue on, especially because they lost Tech. So now he has to come back. You know, I mean, it's kind of one of these things. I feel like they have to close the loop. They have to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the feeling. So Cody dies, Crosshair comes back.
Does Crosshair die?
I don't know. Who maybe.
Does all the bad batch?
That's what we were talking about. Maybe because we were talking about foreshadowing, right? With some of the other creators, we're talking about this where Filoni, or you see that Omega has the crosshair on her eye, as she's saying that maybe you don't trust enough. Maybe she picks up the mantle and she, you know, tries to become the next crosshair. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Always in future.
Yeah.
They're always in motion. The future is
always in motion. The future is. Yep.
So we'll share the one final one, the bonus topic. You shared this one with me earlier. What do you got? Yeah, Abigail just putting a damper on the whole thing. She thinks they all end up dead.
Yeah. And I was talking with Abigail about this, speaking of this kind of this last potential ending, is that, and this is from another creator. I'll have to get the name, and but it's, they, you know, make their way into Mount Tantus. They, you know, potentially even obtain Omega. They get Crosshair. They're on their way out, but are confronted by Vader. Right. So you have Rex, you have Cody, you have obviously Bad Batch in there, and Vader shows up, right? Potentially with Inquisitors, you know, maybe not. Maybe it's just him. So, but I mean, it kind of like begs the question that, you know, if they have to confront Vader, or they're confronted with him, I mean, I think we can all agree that they're absolutely 100% dead at that point. Maybe they can, you know, slow him down in a sense until he gets his bearing, and then, you know, basically just force crushes him to death. So I don't know. I mean, that seems like the only kind of logical. I mean, it seems like that would happen. Maybe even Rex, maybe he rescues Omega, and, you know, it's not like he doesn't 100%, you know, have a feeling that Anakin did turn to the dark side. I mean, he had the last transmission from Ahsoka, you know, in the what was it, just before the Mandalorian battle, Siege of Mandalore, and they so he understands that obviously Palpatine was manipulating him. He understands that, you know, they were there was something questionable happening there, and, you know, he doesn't know 100% what happened at that point, but he does know that he was involved with Palpatine, and that he you know, and didn't see him after that, you know. 50% he could have died, 50% maybe he switched. And he knows Anakin. He knows how emotional he was, and how, you know, he wasn't really loyal to the Jedi Order. He was more loyal to people. Yeah. And, you know, he knows that. So I think he gets a sense of, yeah, that's him. And maybe he just takes off from there, takes Omega, and they balance. But yeah, or Omega gets recaptured, and, you know, they have some type of meeting. I think that would be awesome to see them either meet or have some type of passing, and see how that goes. So
I don't think this is pulling in all of Star Wars media. Rogue One did a good job of it, but I don't think, and I also say I wasn't alive in the 70s when the original trilogy was coming out. But the point I'm getting at is, I don't think Star Wars TV or shows, excluding comics and books, has done enough to demonstrate why and how Darth Vader was so powerful and evil.
Yeah, 100%.
Give me visual demonstration as to his brutality and his power, and sell me on it a little bit more. Yeah. And I think everyone would like that. I don't think Disney has the cojones to do that. But if you got Darth Vader wiping out the Bad Batch, one, you give the Bad Batch a hero's death if they're saving something. And I think you build the legend of Darth Vader.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, I would love to see animated or live action, either one, a like recreation of Dark Lord of the Sith comic series. I would love that, because you really see how like twisted he was,
Yeah.
I mean, he was. I mean, obviously we know this, but I mean, I would really love to see that be shown is just how cruel he was. I mean, during that time period while he was a Sith Lord. I mean, it was just devastating. I mean, just talk about unhinged, right? I mean, the guy was just emotionally just could not get a grip.
Yeah.
So it's I would love that.
Yeah. I mean, between like, if I think about it at the top of my head, there's one point there's like, if we're tallying this up in points, there's Rogue One, where Vader's brutal. But even in like Return of the Jedi, he comes across as merciful, obviously with Luke. He kind of has a little bit of like come with me in Empire Strikes Back. He's pretty brutal there, so I could go like 2 points there. But Victory and Death, Clone Wars, you see this almost like Anakin popping out. Kenobi, you see Anakin popping out. Like it's always like they're trying to show how Anakin's still in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, just show me.
But I mean, let's just break that down, because I mean, look, first off, his suit, just right off the top, his suit was like created so it just keeps him in perpetual agony.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Jacoby has a good insider scoop too as to why he was in so much pain.
I love this. Jacoby's
put sand in your shorts after going to the beach, you will be just as grouchy as Darth Vader. It's a human quality.
Yeah. I love it. That was the. Did you see that meme I sent you? Somebody had, or not meme, but the post I sent you. It was like basically all the worst things that Anakin had to endure, and the last one was sand, and it came.
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
That was great. But I mean, the guy's suit was already ill-fitting. I mean, it was tugging at his flesh. He was always fighting back, just rotting flesh from obviously his injuries. It didn't fit well. He could barely even move in the thing. It limited his force abilities. I mean, the guy, he was having these perpetual like nightmares, both awake, while he was awake and while he was sleeping, of all the cruel acts he had done, plus losing his love and choking her and whatnot. So I think that we need to see an R-rated Vader, whether that's live action or otherwise. So
the only way that's happening is if Elon buys Star Wars, and then all of a sudden we'd get like a horror movie. So I don't know. So that's everything. That's trailer. That's theories. Next week, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. What is it in Sweden right now?
It's 3:30.
3:30. Okay, so all over the world. We're streaming all over the world on the Trooper Transmission. We're getting the message out to all the troopers in every single country. But we'll be doing episode reviews every single week. Next week, obviously, we'll have 3 to unpack. So really excited about that. And then for anyone who's unfamiliar with Trooper Transmission, my name is Paul, and that's Marcos. And when we're not talking about Star Wars, we're coaching people also all over the world to get fit for the Republic, lose weight, get stronger, build muscle. We do it in a really fun, gamified way. All the people you've seen jump on with chats, we kind of let them know we were doing this. And so those are all, awesome people that we get the opportunity to work with. And if you want to learn more, there's going to be a link down in the description. And I would love to talk fitness, talk Star Wars with you. That's really, what we do. We're just a bunch of nerds getting 100%. Fit. And thank you for watching, Marcos.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining. We look forward to talking after episode 3, and just super pumped for that.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right, guys, catch you guys next time on the Trooper Transmission.
Later, guys.